Hi, welcome back. It's Laura at Hyperstamper. This is a very special, one-of-a-kind, probably never to be made again junk journal. It is a junk journal with a tea theme. So everything in here, and it took about a year to collect just enough ephemera to make one junk journal, and it's all tea themed, every page and every insert and pocket. It's a really, really special journal. It took me forever to make. Because I knew it was going to be the only one I would make. So I'm going to take you on a little journey through this, and then it will be in my Etsy shop. So let's start with the cover. This is an antique book. It was actually an antique book. You can't see it anymore, called The Great Adventure. And I pulled this out of a 1920s children's book, Tea Party. And the plate here is from the early 1900s Honey Bunch book. And they are having, it says, I never let any of my children drink tea, said Honey Bunch, and she's got her little dolls there. So they're having a little tea party. I've got some pieces of vintage doily there, and along the side here I have the vintage chain and this little teacup charm here, which is not vintage, but it's perfect. And the necklace is on a magnet, so you can pull that off and wear it if you like. Now, everything is intact, so let me take you inside here. And this whole thing, right to the last page, practically has lots of treasures. So if you're interested in teas, this might be a good one for you. Now, this is the most iconic tea party picture probably ever made. It was from Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. And this is the Mad Tea Party chapter. And as you can see there, that is the illustration by Sir Tenniel, and so that had to be the first page. This is a 100-year-old page itself. The original was 1865, if I didn't say that already. And yeah, so you've got a 100-year-old opening page there. Now I did cover the inside here because it wasn't tea themed, but I also didn't want to cover it up because it's got this great little picture of a mermaid there. And a seahorse, and I just thought that was really cool, so I left it on a hinge, and you can journal on both sides that way. Here we go. This is from 1927, an advertisement for Eaton's Teas. I love that picture. And this is from a crocheting book on how to make little doilies for a tea party. And there's another one of those great green label teas. Look at that beautiful 1927 ad. This is from the 40s. Little girl here having her own little tea party. 3 guests. I had a little tea party this afternoon at 3. Just wonderful. This is from that needlecraft journal or book I made into a journal a few weeks ago. It was a really popular, but these are some of the inside pages, and that's from 1930. So this is a tea cozies for the schoolroom. It's really cool. You'll see the other side in a bit. Tea cozies for the schoolroom. Isn't that wonderful? And this is a Beatrix Potter page from the 30s. And you can see here the cat is having a little tea party herself. This has another great catalog page from 27 for decorated teapots. Turn that into a journaling tag. And this is from the 50s. Look at that. That is actually from a recipe book. And that is tea time treats there. There we are. Look how sweet. Okay, that's a Beatrix Potter there. And this is another Beatrix Potter plate, another tea party. Look how sweet that is. Oh, I just love it so much. And that's also from the 30s. Now here is something really special. Whoopsie, let me get you in your pocket. Look at this one here. This is fabulous. This was sent to me by Paige. And I did do an Etsy, a Google search on this, and it came up in the early 1900s. Look at 2 teaspoons. Isn't that wonderful? And they're about to sit down and have their tea. That is a precious, precious postcard. It's hard to find tea-related postcards. There's another one coming up in this journal, and this is a wonderful vintage 1940s needlework transfer. So you would iron that onto your tea towels and then embroider on it. Tea towels. I should have put a tea towel in here. That would be good. There's the other part of that wonderful tea cozy. You can see it there for the schoolroom. I didn't realize I had tea at the schools. Here is a great piece here, and I actually, this is from a magazine probably from the 50s. Look at how great that is, or maybe even the 60s. Little tea setting there. And then this is another great embroidery setting here for a bridge cloth. Oh, that's wonderful. Then another little tea advertisement up here. And there's the Mad Tea Party first chapter page there from Alice in Wonderland. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, my apologies. The afternoon tea cloth and the sideboard runner. Look at how great is that, 1930. And then I made this pocket out of a doily that I thought would look pretty on a tea table. Put your teapot on. And then this lovely catalog page here as well. You've got your teaspoons, silver polished to clean all your creamers. My little creamer here. And I put antique paper on the back for journaling. Whoop. And then this is just a really fun children's page here, alphabet book for kids from the 50s. And he's putting on the water for their tea as well. And here is just the other side of that. And this is to make tea biscuits and crumpets that you would have at a tea party, and all the different breads there. How beautiful that is. And this is another wonderful 1930s page here, and that is for a tea cozy as well. You've got your teapot here. And then here is more wonderful things you can have with your tea. Marmalade and scones. Iconic, right? This is another wonderful recipe here. So we've got the petite fours. Those are little teeny tiny sandwiches that you would have at a tea party or at high tea. Other wonderful tea recipes there for desserts with your tea. And this is just another one of those great 1930 pages. And you have to have a pretty doily around the tea table. I hand stamped that onto my tea dyed paper. So this is from 1934, Paris, France Almanac. It took me about an hour and a half to go through them all to find, please let there be one tea image. And there was, there we go. I love it. This is that wonderful 1920s, how to have a glamorous table books. And this whole page here is on different ways to set a table for tea. Tea in the garden, tea for 3, afternoon tea, tea for 30. Wow. And then the table at tea time. Just splendid. This is a wonderful plate from 1913. And you can see here they are getting ready for their afternoon tea here as well. And making some muffins. This is another wonderful piece, an embroidery. That's a teapot holder. And I made this tag here out of a vintage newspaper page. And of course, she is also having her cup of tea here. Just a really fun cluster of everything I have here. And I put this note on here to remind me what the age of was this, but this is from 1882. I did put some antique paper on the back also to support it. This little girl is out by her tree and she is pretending to make some tea there. That is so precious. Super duper old, over 140 years old, that one. Now, here is another one of these awesome embroidery pieces for tea time. And look at this. This is awesome. I believe it is German, but look at that wonderful. We've got coffee cake. That may be a teapot there or a coffee pot, but it's from 1937. Isn't it lovely? Oh, I'm so in love with that. It's perfect. This little poem from a 1920s Children's Garden of Verses, because it mentions having tea in it. And this is a vintage from the 70s, early 70s. And it's from my spice book, and it is ginger because of ginger tea. And this is an actual vintage paper doily, not a new one. It is from the 60s. And I know that because I took this out of the original packaging. And then this is just that bigger catalog page here. It may be a little brittle, but all the different tea and coffee advertisements. I love it. And then we go on to, there is another book for the afternoon tea party from a different book, Honey Bunch. And then this is just a hilarious, I found this in a recipe book, and it's got this woman here who is on her porch and she's drinking her tea. It's hilarious. Look at the dog. And I made this pocket out of an advertisement to buy linen tea squares, so napkins for tea time. More wonderful recipes for tea time there. a Swedish tea ring, another tea set here. This is from a 1930s book, A Mad Tea Party, so a different artist, same story. Alice in Wonderland. And then this is from a 1920s children's book, Two Little Cobblers. They went to tea with the cobbler. Is that sweet? A gentleman and two little boys having tea. I love it. Another great little piece here. A thatched cottage tea cozy. More wonderful recipes to have with your tea. And this little sweet one here, I almost missed it going through my books. Look at the little teddy bears having a cup of tea. And what a great way to end this fabulous journal. I did leave the original pages in this antique book instead of covering them up. So I hope you love this as much as I loved making it. I'm going to miss this one. It was challenging, but worth it. Please come back soon, hyperstamper.etsy.com.